What's going on, guys? The Barber Phil here, back again with another haircut tutorial. And in today's cut, we've got a little bit of a difficult one. We've got some salt and pepper hair texture, and we're going to do a mid to not a low skin fade, but about a mid skin fade. What I mean by salt and pepper is, of course, his hair is darker, especially when it's wet like this, but it's actually got some gray hair coming through and some white hair coming through. And that hair texture and the density of the hair, or the texture of it, it's coarser, and then it also casts some shadows. So you have to really pay attention and be methodical in your methods and your steps. Make sure that you're constantly checking your mirror, and that's something that I was going to mention too, guys. Make sure, of course, I would absolutely love for you to watch this full 15-minute tutorial. I think you guys can really learn from it. But please do me a favor and at least stick around to that 6-minute mark. There's a hidden gem in there that I want you guys to make sure that you catch. Do not leave this video unless you've gotten to that 6-minute mark and you hear that. Hopefully you guys will be able to take something away from it. We're going to cut the top down, not texturing it really. We're just cutting about a 3/4 of an inch to an inch off all the way through, and then we'll get right into the fade. Now, to kick this fade off, his hair was already somewhat short enough that I felt comfortable going ahead and starting with the trimmer. A lot of times what you can do is take like a 3 guard or whatever your first guard is that you debulk with, debulk the sides, and then do your bald line. For whatever reason, I just went ahead and put it in with the Slimline here. I'm going to flick it out. We started about midway through the C-cup, dropped it over his ear a little bit, and then down in the back somewhat. So it's not a straight line back through there, but it's not like a massive drop by any means. We're going to come in behind it, really clean it up, start that transition with the FXs. So you'll have pretty much down to nothing with the FX. Then you've got a small little flicked out section of the Slimline. Now we're going to come in, metal magic clip, flick through this first section here. This is going to be about a full inch. We want to give ourselves plenty of room here to fade through. Start with that lever wide open. And then what you'll do is, once you get that cleaned up, close that lever halfway up, and you'll go about halfway to 3/4 of the way up to where you flicked out that fully open one. And then when you get done with that middle section there of the half open, you'll drop down, close that lever all the way up, and you'll flick out basically that line at the bottom that you left with the Slimline Pros, or whatever trimmer that you decide to. And you don't even have to use a 2 trimmer system. You can come in here with whatever trimmer that you initially put that line in, and you can take it out with that, no problem. Most of the time, no problem. My only thing is, my FXs hit so hard and take so much hair off so fast that if I were to mess up at all, I move, he moves, I just don't pay attention, I dig in too much, then my FXs are going to cause my fades to have to be raised up higher, because I would have messed up and taken off too much there. That's why I use the FX and then use the Slimline, because it's a little more forgiving. Now we're going to go ahead and start debulking the side. This is the metal magic clip still, and we're going to have a 3 guard with the lever all the way closed, just because we knew that we could take out this. I've said it in the previous videos before. You could do it open and really try to eliminate some of your back end steps, like clipper over comb or blending shear over comb, when you're connecting the sides to the top. So you could do a 3 open and maybe finesse that a little bit. I just decided this particular haircut, go ahead and start with that 3 guard closed, debulk the side. Now we switched over to a 2 guard. We're going to start with that 2 guard open, flick pretty much up to where we left off that 3 guard, about 3/4 of the way through it. And we'll do the same step as we did with the no guard. We will close this 2 guard up halfway, go about halfway to 3/4 of the way up to where we just left off that open 2. You'll close the 2 all the way up. You'll drop down. You'll go about halfway to 3/4 of the way up through that half open section. Now the exact same step with the 1 guard, and we're just slowly trying to meet the 3 guard that we did initially down to that open section. So you're going to start with this 1 guard open. You go about halfway to 3/4 of the way up through where you left off with that 2 guard closed. Close that 1 guard halfway up. Go about halfway to 3/4 of the way through that the half open one section. Close that 1 guard all the way up, and then you should start really seeing that blend come together. Now you won't be all the way there yet, but what you'll be able to do is grab that half guard and really start finessing the bottom, and that's where you're really going to see the connection. Actually, I'm going to take the 1.5, and that's just going to help in some of the darker areas there between the 1 and that 3 guard. I know we did the 2, but a lot of times if you can get that 1.5 in there, it's not a full section in itself, but just a couple passes through there and it can lighten it up and really bring the fade together. So here's the half guard, and I'm pretty much immediately messing with that lever, opening it and closing it, just trying to make sure that we're cutting the color. There's a spot particularly right above where I'm at right now that I believe I eventually come back later and hit. It's right there in the middle. There's a spot, I don't know, it's where that salt pepper really comes in. I ended up looking in the mirror multiple times. I actually point to where it's at, look in the mirror, make sure that where I'm pointing is the same place that I'm seeing in the mirror. That's a hidden gem, guys. I've said it before, but use that mirror. And if you look in the mirror, that gives you what you've got, probably 4 feet to your mirror, 3 feet to your mirror, and then that mirror's got a good 5 or so feet back to your client's head. So that reflection gives you almost like a 7 to 10 foot, we will, distance away from your client's head, if that makes sense, and I really hope that it does. So it's not just you standing there, 2 foot away from your client's head looking at it. It's you looking at it in the mirror, and you're actually getting a view of it from 7 to 10 feet. And so that's a very important thing to do, guys. Make sure that you always use your mirror over and over again. If you see a spot, but then you turn back and look at it, and you don't particularly see it right there, look back in the mirror, point to where that spot is, look back at your client's head, and hopefully that will give you an indication of that particular spot that you're trying to get. If you guys are enjoying this beat, take a second after this video is over, head over to OP Beats on YouTube or OP Beats on Instagram and show him some love. Let him know that I sent you. He's got a totally different sound in a sense. He's very big in adding that guitar to the beats, so it's something that I particularly enjoy a lot. I grew up in a house with a dad who played guitar. He still plays guitar quite a bit, and so I have a great appreciation for that. So I'm glad I discovered him. I'm hoping you guys are enjoying the beats as well. Alright guys, I just want to be real with you real quick. So for me, as far as YouTube is concerned, at this point it's not about the numbers. It's about getting you guys quality content out and hoping that somebody is able to take something away from the tutorials that I put out. But a big way that that's possible to reach more people and potentially find that person that really needs it is I need to get into those YouTube algorithms. And a good way for that to happen is more interaction on the channel. So the more people that subscribe, the more people that hit that like button, the more people that participate in the comments. YouTube takes that, they realize that your channel or your videos particularly have a buzz to them, so they're going to put it out to more people. So I'm not saying that to push you guys to do anything that you hopefully weren't already going to do, but if we could, let's try to get this video to 50 likes. That's a little bit more than what I normally get. If you're on this video and you watch it, leave me a comment, let me know what you think about it. And then about anything, it could be the beat, it could be the haircut. Hopefully, there's something you picked up. If you stuck around and you heard that hidden gem, leave me a comment. Let me know if you've heard that before. And then, of course, if you're on the video and you haven't hit that subscribe button, take a second and do that. I would greatly appreciate your support, and we can continue to grow this channel and hopefully reach more people. So I don't know what it was. I don't know if I stretched out the back more than I should have, but I did feel like I had a little bit more difficulty in the back area. I think here in a second is where I actually used the mirror. I point to a spot that I kept looking at from up close, and I just couldn't see it. Couldn't figure out where it was, but every time I looked in the mirror, I always saw a spot. I'd turn back, try to hit it, and look back in the mirror and realize I still hadn't gotten it. So there's a spot right there above my finger that I kept looking in the mirror and I kept noticing, but every time I would look from the mirror to his head, it was like it disappeared. I couldn't see it. So I grabbed out that half guard, closed it up, just used the corners, flicked up through there, checked back in the mirror, boom, kept going, and we were done with it. But it took looking in that mirror multiple times and finally actually physically pointing to where it was at, taking my eyes off the mirror and going back to his head, and then boom, there it is. And so hopefully that helps some of you guys out. Don't be afraid to do that. I've actually literally just put my finger on my client's head so that I didn't move it or whatever. Don't be afraid to do that. So as you guys can tell, I actually sped this side up quite a bit. We were wanted to get through this side here. I really talked through the other side more in depth, and then just let this side ride out. A little bit of a difficult spot as well, right above where the weight is. He doesn't part it, but whenever you push it all over at the same time, the actual parietal ridge area on the side and the top, when you push it over with the top, it just never really set right. I'm coming through here, I'm using the blending shears, trying to lighten it up a little bit, hopefully make that hair lay a little bit softer and blend in a little bit better. But for whatever reason, I don't know what it was, I may have left the front a tad bit too long. He's got a wave in the front, but he also pushes it over, and so we left the top a little bit longer maybe than we should have. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but there was something about that left side where you push it over that I had a little bit of trouble with. Didn't particularly like the way it ended up. But guys, that's one thing that I've always tried to do. I've tried to keep it real with you guys. Post haircuts that aren't, just absolute bangers every single time. Because that's not, I try my best to put out every haircut the best that I can. But they don't always come in or go out immaculate. I'm not perfect. I'm not a robot. I just do what I can. I do the best that I can. I give everything I got. But I'm going to bring it to you guys regardless if it's the absolute best video I got or if it's just something that there's something in the particular video I'm putting out I'm hoping you guys got. That's how I look at YouTube, and hopefully, you guys can appreciate that. Alright guys, that's about it for this haircut tutorial. Make sure that you do me a huge solid. Take a second, if you're new or you haven't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Enable that notification bell, that way you never miss another video from me. Sunday and Wednesday is my schedule. That's 2 videos a week to you, I promise. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't. Leave me a comment in that comment section. Let me know if that hidden gem helped you at all. Our barber instructor at school was an older gentleman, something he brought to us. Hopefully you guys took something away from that, and until the next video, I appreciate it.